The future is female. We've got Pamelyn Rocco in the studio, our game MOM-trepreneur, and our nightcap, the salty mama's Margarita. Today on It's Complicated.
You're listening to It's Complicated with your hosts Jennifer Golden and Lauren Leonelli, coming to you live from the AfterBuzz TV studios in Los Angeles, California.
Hey everyone, welcome back for another episode of It's Complicated.
The struggle is real when you're dating in the city.
I'm Jen.
And I'm Lauren.
And tonight, guys, even though I have basically lost my voice, we are going to be discussing embracing your womanhood.
Woo-woo.
With all the powerful images surfacing from the recent women's marches, we believe that what really needs to change is the perspective about what makes women powerful. It's the things that only women can do. So right now, women are finding their voices and their power. But being powerful, guys, does not mean just like being CEO and stuff. Women who run a tight ship at home, managing schedules, taking care of children, they should actually feel confident and empowered about embracing their maternal calling without feeling less than for doing a woman's job, because that in itself, guys and women, is a job, and it's not an easy one.
That's right. And tonight, our guest, Pamelyn Rocco, has done it all. She worked in a high-profile position, then moved to becoming the boss of her home after the birth of her first daughter, and then decided, what the fuck? I'm just going to blend these two things together and become the woman that she is today, and she runs her own company.
But before we get into all of these exciting topics, guys, we need a drink.
Yes, we do. I think you need some throat lubrication.
I know. Too bad it's not like a hot toddy or something. But guys, our nightcap tonight is really exciting. It's a salty mama's margarita. And this is the house recipe from the famous LA Mexican restaurant Casa Vega, because margaritas are Pamelyn's favorite cocktail. And since Pamelyn is a salty and sassy mama who runs the show in and out of her own house, we're going to cheers to her with this salty house recipe.
That's right. Cheers. I am scared.
Cheers.
You know I have a hard time with tequila, so I'm going to do it.
I hope this helps my voice.
I feel like it will. And now, quickly, it's time for a weekend update. Jen, tell us about I think your voice is pretty indicative of the sort of fun you had, maybe.
Oh, yeah. I went to Sundance, guys, and it was a lot of fun. Next year, we're going to go together. But I met up with some friends out there and, went to a bunch of events and went to the Grey Goose after party for a Heartbeats Loud premiere.
Whoa.
I went to Facebook's party and tried out their Oculus. It's pretty awesome.
Is that cool?
First of all, when you're drinking, don't look down when you're doing VR, because they should just tell you like you're gonna be ill.
No, seriously. And did it really work?
Oh yeah, it's so freaking cool. I did one called Spheres where I was like in a black hole and Jessica Chastain was narrating it, and it's like directed by some famous director, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Ang Lee. I made that up.
No, I was gonna say like Richard Linklater, but it's not him.
Anyway,
it's not Steven Soderbergh. It's someone else that's like of that ilk. Guys.
Okay.
Really, really impressive guy. But so it was really cool. I felt like I was like in the galaxy. Like then they're like, look around, and then you've got like these remotes, and you're like throwing like stars at things. And
what?
I'm like it's just really cool. It's like when you go to the planetarium, and there's like stars, and they're telling you stuff. And you're like kind of listening. This you're really listening because it's you. And
you're like in it.
Party of one. So did that. That was super fun. Went to the Chase Sapphire party. Stopped by the YouTube house. I was like, hey guys, we're a YouTube partner. Well, we and you in spirit.
Yeah. It's fine. You repping.
Totally. Went to the Women in Film event at Stella Artois. And
all the alcohol.
Drank like champions at the Veuve Clicquot yurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, get it?
The yurt.
Yeah. So, and we drank like champs. But anyway, so met a really great crew of guys that were like friends with the people I went with, but there were like 15 of them, 8 of us. We like all like hung out, and it was really interesting because they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, I host a dating and relationship show. They're like, okay, tell us everything. I'm like, oh God. Where do we start?
People probably do that. And when we talk to
exhausting.
Pamela, and we're going to ask her too, like, I bet you as soon as she says what she does, people ask her a million questions like, what should I do? I'm having a party.
Yeah.
What should I do? She's probably like, oh, fuck.
It's like, go to my website or
Yeah.
watch the goddamn show. Like, don't ask me. I have a show. It's archived. You can
Just
listen
listen to the show.
over 100 episodes.
Yeah.
And also just know you're doing it wrong. Just start there.
all of you are doing it wrong.
It's funny because like they were asking me like, okay, so what are we doing wrong? I'm like, well, you, sir, have been texting with that girl, but now you're making out with that girl. And like, that's just a big no-no.
Yeah.
And then like, you don't have the guts to even go after that girl, but you're telling me you like her. And I'm like, grow a pair, go after her.
No.
So there was like a lot of like misconnections that were happening and like things I was just observing from like an outside perspective being like,
I'm sure. In a setting like that, there's a lot going on.
so much going on. But I will say this, in a setting like that, there's so many opportunities to meet single people.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like Sundance needs to like up their singles game.
Yeah.
Because everyone like goes up to each other. You're all there for the same reason. So you could like act as though it's a business reason that you're going up to somebody, but really
when you have
start
the guise of an
flirting.
event behind you,
Yeah.
it sort of helps. Oh, maybe Pamelyn can make like dating events or
Listen,
something.
I think we need to do something next year
Oh my God.
all together because what they lacked was singles events. So like they
Yeah,
had
they're
like a
all
Tinder
alcohol-induced.
Refinery 29 party, but it
Oh,
was like
right.
about like how to portray relationships in the media, not about how to actually have a relationship.
What?
So I know what they should have
What was
done
the point of that?
was have a Tinder party so people could get off, like maybe even like swipe in Park City, and then if you got all access pass, like you swiped and you found the like lucky Tinder like the golden
Oh.
ticket, you get access to this cool
You could
party
be the golden ticket.
because
the Jennifer Golden ticket.
So I should run for office and be like, it's the golden ticket.
I mean, it's meant to be, I think.
The office of dating and relationships.
Well, I'm in the office of moving still.
Yeah. So why?
The longest
Why
move
is
in the
this-
history of the planet
why?
Earth, because there was like different things that were going into like where I was putting things, and then I was like staying with the friend a little bit to help her because her husband was gone, and then so anyway, it's like I'm getting to the end of it, but I'm getting to the part, you know how you like are worried about something, not the move, I'm not worried about the move, but like parts of the move, like almost like how were for me, like you leave the last thing that you're like ugh, about for the last because you're like, oh, I don't want to deal with that thing. And then now I'm moving my clothes in. That's the thing.
Oh,
'Cause
I would have done that
I
first.
don't know. Well,
I hate not having my essentials.
I can't have my clothes not with me. So I had to wait anyway because now I'm moving them into where I'm going to be.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of wait, but also they don't fit.
Yeah, you have a lot of clothes. I don't even know how that works.
So there's that, but I'm almost officially in, and then I'll let you know in a couple of weeks.
Are you making him get rid of all of his stuff? Like, how do you fit your clothes?
No, I just like gonna use it as an organizational challenge, and it's.
Did you buy like an IKEA or
Oh, there's so many things that I can't even. There's been on all of the websites with all of the under the bed storage and the this drawer and the that from the container store and the.
Well,
Anyway,
at least it's almost done.
yeah, so I'll let you know if I did it, and then I'll give you my tips on that, because if you bring a guy home, you don't want to like open your closet and have like a catastrophe in there.
God, no. In fact, I would like to open my drawers and be like, look at the beauty that
I
lives
do.
inside these
It looks
drawers.
like I'm like a murderer because you open my drawers and it's like sleeping with the enemy. But
Only right now. It will get better.
no. I mean, that's good.
Oh,
like
the
that.
enemy-
It's
well,
like
you know, I
so
probably haven't seen
organized.
whatever
It's
that
so organized that it's like something's fucking wrong with you. It's like that.
Wait, American Psycho?
Yeah. Yes. Like
Okay.
you have an issue.
Now I
You have an
understand
issue.
you.
Okay, but yes.
So
Anyway,
you're in.
I'm in.
But like almost in. It's
Almost
fine.
in.
That's
yeah.
closer than you were before.
Yeah.
Lovely.
It's good.
All right, guys. She's a little girl with a dream,
Mm-hmm.
a woman with a vision, a mom with a purpose, and above all, your styling superstar. Welcome to the studio,
Pamelyn
Pamelyn
Rocco. Yay! Drink
Thanks,
your drink.
ladies. I'm drinking.
Drinking your salty
It's good.
mama's margarita. Okay, but
like it.
we have you here and we're glad you're here. But first, we need to talk.
What?
Yeah, doesn't that really make you
Yes,
so
I'm
relaxed?
nervous.
Because that's like the thing that you want to hear when you're just like all of a sudden in front of somebody. But what we mean here is our listeners confront us weekly with questions that most people avoid, sort of like how you avoid watching your ex's Instagram story, but sometimes it just pops through your feed and you can't help it. Anyway, this question comes from Taylor in Pasadena, and we actually think it's perfect for you because we want us to help you help her. She asks, I'm planning a big birthday party, and the guy I've been dating for the past few months keeps asking me to help out with some party planning. I guess he has some alcohol like connection or something. And she is hesitant to let him be more than just a guest because in her mind, she's like, what if it doesn't work out? I don't want my memories of this milestone birthday to be tarnished with this dumb guy or a broken relationship or something. So should she let him help, or should she politely decline?
She should politely decline for sure. She can handle it.
Yeah.
She's a woman. She can get it all done.
And then if it works out and ends up being fine, then it's great because he was just a guest at the party like you should have been, right?
There's no hurt.
Yeah.
It's a win-win that way, I think.
Yeah.
But it's nice of him to offer.
It is nice of him
Very
to offer.
nice.
I
Yeah.
think if you're hesitant, then that's probably telling you something, but it doesn't mean like you're hesitant because it's not going to work out. It's just you're not comfortable doing that for whatever reason. So pay attention. Like there's no generalization for a rule like this with throwing parties, right? Like and we'll talk about this, your relationship actually that you're married now, that moved pretty quickly.
Very
so
quickly.
you may have in the situation been like, it's fine and it worked fine for you, but that's what you were comfortable with. So I say pay attention to what makes you feel comfortable. And if you're feeling hesitant about it, then just nicely say like, oh my God, thank you so much. Even if you don't have it covered, Taylor, even if you don't have alcohol, just be like, oh no, I already have that covered. And I really just want you to be a guest because I really feel like I'm throwing this party for my friends or whatever.
I wish I could ask Taylor why she thinks him helping them
Right.
wouldn't work out, because like I feel like
That's
I'm
where I
missing
was
a
going.
piece.
Yeah.
Where it's like, what
Yeah.
could go wrong? Like, would it be like that they fight for some reason?
Or
Like,
maybe it doesn't last until the date of the party.
Yeah.
and
I
then
think
there's no alcohol
Right.
there.
Or no, I think she's worried like he's going to be more involved in throwing this party than I want him to be. And then what if it doesn't work out and I have to remember like more than him just being a guest? Like it's a bigger thing
Oh.
than
So it's like
he did all
co-hosting.
these things. Exactly. And she's like, oh, fuck, I don't even know if this is gonna, I'm not ready for all that.
Oh yeah.
That's what it's sounding like
And
to me.
he could be trying to like make his mark too. Like,
Totally.
this is really my girl. I mean, I planned the party.
Oh my! He's
you
like
know.
Jennifer Goodwin in what's that movie called?
She's just not that into
yeah,
you.
and she's trying to help Justin Long. I forget
Yeah.
their movie character names, but
Yeah.
like she's like, I'm co-hosting, and
Guess
like,
what though? They ended up together at the
They
end of
did.
the movie.
They did.
There you go.
So Taylor, go watch that movie.
Just do what feels good for you, but we all say just politely decline if you're hesitant.
yeah,
Yeah.
and maybe also wonder why you're dating him. Just
And also that too.
curious.
And don't forget to connect with us on all the socials at Complicated Show, where you can ask us more questions and make comments and like our photos and tell us how great we are.
Yep. And just to give you guys like a quick heads up, we have one of the people from the Bachelor Nation next week, so you
That's
might
right.
want to get some questions in. Jared, Haybon.
Hybon. I think it's Hybon.
I
That
know-
sounds like, I
We
don't know.
talked to him before, and I still can't remember.
I will have to, when
We'll
we get
ask.
him in here, we'll make him pronounce it for us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys. So we brought this up before, and we really want to talk about the future is female. Hot topic. We really think that, like there's different passions and different careers and different roles, and that's what makes all women beautiful. All women come in all of those different areas of life. They exceed in all those different areas, and they can also be sharp or witty and funny. And this past weekend, there was a women's march. It happened all over the country, and where women just really felt like they could hold on to their voices and speak out loud and fight for their rights. And here are some of the signs that we like that stuck out that they marched with. And I don't know if you saw any of them, Pamelyn.
I kind of wish we like have them up on the screen, but it's
Show
fine.
you I'm gonna say my favorite one.
Yo,
after
go.
this.
Yeah,
fine,
But
fine.
you
I
go
mean,
first. Yeah.
I liked the it was actually my friend Dan was holding this sign up, and he.
Well, that is lovely that he supported these women.
I know, and there's a lot of men there. He said, "Hey guys, just because we have one doesn't mean we have to act like one."
A dick.
In
Get it?
case you didn't get that.
Okay, great. Well, you guys now know.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of my favorites were like some of the. I'll just tell you a couple of female ones that I really liked. It's time to ovary act.
I loved that.
Yep.
Very
or vaginas brought you into the world. Vaginas will vote you out. There's a lot of Trump signs about
A
like
lot.
Cheetos,
many.
like
Wait, Cheetos.
extra fascist, like extra,
Oh,
extra
oh,
racist, like super. There was one that was also like super callous.
Oh, super
fascist, racist.
Something you're not my POTUS.
Yeah.
Pamelyn, what did you like?
It's a picture of this like 95-year-old woman, and
Oh.
she's just standing there, and she's just like, I can't believe I still have to protest this fucking shit.
Oh
Yeah,
my
so she-
God.
One of
Yeah.
them
So
was like holding a
amazing.
sign. She's like, I've been doing this since 1960. My arm is tired.
Yeah. Or a lot of them too were like, I came from the 50s, I don't want to go back there. Things like that.
One person sign said what Oprah said.
What Oprah said,
Yeah.
women's rights are not up for grabs was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
There was a little girl I saw tweet others the way you want to be tweeted.
Yeah, Trump. Or I'd call Trump a cunt, but he lacks depth and warmth.
You just
said
said the word.
I
She's
can
a
say
really
it now.
hard time.
It took me a long time. I'll explain. Someone was once that, and I had to say it because I was like, "There's no other word
To use.
Yeah, there was one
Saying
of those on
that-
my trip to
say-
Sundance. By the way,
Ugh.
mean girl status. I was like, "Do you not know the future is female? Today is a women's march, and
I
you are
know.
mean."
Yeah.
I
ugh.
have no patience for that.
Yeah.
I just
No.
don't get it.
That's
No.
hard. And
Yeah.
you worked in, I think you probably, when you were doing the high profile job you had before, you're probably surrounded by a lot of men. Now
All
you're
men.
in like a woman's world.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel like those are different or better or worse? Or, I mean, I guess everything has its own good positives and negatives.
Yeah, I mean, I was, I was in an all male office. I mean, and in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
When
right.
it was where I started. So I mean, it's a whole different ball game there too. And I always like am able to adapt to like my situations. Like I know how to like deal with like the certain people. I think now in this mom world, it's way more supportive. Like
Okay.
way more. Even though like I was the only woman and it seemed like everybody got along and everybody liked me, I found the men were more catty
Really?
any
Why?
other
Why do you
women
think
I
that
had
is?
ever. I mean, they were like backstabbing. Like it was like they were like so.
Was that like a weird competitive thing?
Yes, totally
Interesting.
weird.
And I wonder, were they like that only with you or with each other
No,
and you?
no, everybody.
Okay.
Oh yeah, not just
So at
me.
least they didn't discriminate.
yeah. No,
Oh.
they didn't.
Well, I guess they were treating you all equal,
Yeah.
even if that was shitty.
Yeah. Well, guys, with all of this talk about women being boss babes and stuff, we think it's important to remind people that you can also be the boss of your home. And so we're saying you went from a man's world to being the boss of the house. So, I mean, that is just as badass as like beating Scott in accounting out for like, that promotion and stuff. Like, what do you think is like the idea behind being like a stay-at-home mom? Because like you went and you did that first before
Right.
you started your own business. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think the stigma is behind that? Though, why people are like, no, I have to now be a CEO. I have to do these things.
I think like when the whole like switch happened, like I don't know, was it like the 70s? I guess when that
Mhm.
whole like, as everybody was a stay-at-home mom, and then this like women's power thing. I think it's like from that, and it's not fair because it's not like anything. And like it's like so right now I have my own company, but I'm at home most of the time with my kids. So I mean, I'm running a company and running my house and kind of a stay-at-home mom. I have a little bit of help, but
Right.
not much. And so, I mean, I think it's changing a little bit. And I think with a lot of moms owning their own companies, that helps to change it.
Just the idea that
Also.
it's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think also maybe like the digital age is really helpful too, because now
Mhm.
there's like a lot of like mommy bloggers and there's a lot of
Exactly.
like businesses you can do from home,
Totally.
which makes you, I think that even the fact that you can do both is even more badass than doing
Oh,
one.
no. I always say to my husband, like, I'm doing a full-time job while these kids are on my lap and, in my office with me. Like, try taking these two kids to your office.
Hell yeah.
You
You're
wouldn't be
doing a
able to do your
full-time
job.
job while
Yeah.
doing a full-time
Yeah.
job. That,
And,
there's
and
that.
I put them to sleep and I stay up until 1 in the morning so that I can,
Hell yeah.
like, continue.
I see your posts.
Yeah.
You're like making glitter hats and shit at 1 in the morning. You're like,
What?
I'm neurotic and I have to do this. But I think it's all about realizing like finding your strength in whatever you're good at. And the stigma that comes from this, like you throw like a girl or you're being a pussy or you,
Right.
or that's a girl, like you, the things that make us women, whether or not, I mean, I guess being a mom, because that's only something a woman can do, or maybe being a stay-at-home mom, that title, that's only something a woman can do. Going along with the societal myth of like it's weaker, like a woman's weak or the weaker sex or whatever. I mean, in some ways we aren't physically as strong as men, some women.
Right.
But I think for the most part, that's where that stigma is. Like just hearing those sayings
Well,
that
I
you don't even
it's
think
like,
about.
just it's people's dads or people's moms saying that.
Just
like
things you hear.
right. I
Yeah.
mean, and that's who it's like if we stop that type of conversation,
Yes.
like my husband would never say that.
Mm-mm.
He would never say that. And a lot of the, I can't imagine any man, any father where I live would say that. But I mean, there's definitely people that still do. I mean, I think that, people are being more cautious of their words.
Yeah. I
Which
think
is finally a great thing.
I think that's good. That's where the change starts.
It starts, but I think it has a lot,
There's a lot to go.
a lot to go. But it's okay.
But just getting that idea out of your mind that the things that make a woman equal weak is not so.
It's very bizarre because, like, okay, sure, in strength, like, we might not be able to move a boulder, which I don't know that anyone's doing that every day of their life and need that skill. But, like, the fact that you can multitask, time manage, you can make food or find it somehow, get it to the house. You can take care of children and teach them to be good humans and still do a good business. Like, if that isn't the best way to bring up children, I don't know what is, because that's a better example than the mom not being there at all. And like, you're letting them learn from kids at school, and like, that's it.
Or I mean, even a guy that decides to stay home, and like, I have a friend who his wife is a lawyer, and he has an average job that's great, but his childcare would end up being the same, almost the same amount of money. So why not? He's like, I stay home, and guess what? That's a fucking badass job. Like, just because your wife's at going and being a lawyer and like fucking suing people in court doesn't mean that she's more powerful than you. Anybody, I mean, I just think because it's so attached to women just because of history, that's why we talk about it. But it's just about embracing what it means to be a woman, and that doesn't mean weak.
Well, I do think maybe like the Real Housewives and things like that does give it a really bad stigma, because it's like, they're a stay-at-home mom, but they're not momming. They're like, their nanny's momming, their housekeeper's momming. Like,
some of them do, but some of them don't.
Right.
I mean,
bet like there are some that seem very hands off, and at that point, you can't call yourself a stay-at-home mom. You're a stay-at-home person.
Yeah.
Like, you're just at home.
Yeah. Like a camera, or I mean, listen, it's not real. None of it's you know. Do you watch The Housewives?
I mean, I haven't watched TV in like 2 years.
Oh my
I
God,
used to love all of that
Like,
stuff.
do you have time?
No. I mean, I used to be a diehard Scandal fan. I mean, I was
it's really
like,
crazy
I
right
never
now.
missed a 48 hours of prime time. I mean, never missed
God,
one of those
48
like
hours?
murder shows.
Yeah.
I mean, I was obsessed with all that and just have not been able to do anything. Not even my soap opera, Young and the Restless, that I've watched since I was 2 years old.
Stop it.
Have not even been able to watch that.
2 years old,
know, my
diehard
grandma
Y&R.
Watched it.
That's how it all starts.
Yeah.
But you know what they say? They say, and it's funny, you just said my grandma, so you were home with your
Yes,
grandma.
I was.
She was taking care of you.
Well,
she
my
was
mom worked.
Yeah, that's what I was too. The same thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's all part of the process. But that your grandma was being badass. So that but back then it was like, oh, she's just being a grandma. Like, that's her job. That's a job. That's hard.
Taking care of kids is hard.
And
That's why
watching
there are
your-
people that get paid to do it.
Well, yeah.
So let alone you doing it for your own kids and multiple.
Oh,
Like, it
no.
sounds like a lot of work. I can barely take care of my own dog.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I mean, you lose your patience with your own kids, and it's like, these people that are taking care of, not their own kids every single day. I mean, it's a hard job.
Yeah, you wonder how they do it. I did it for a long time too.
Right.
And I had girlfriends ask me that have kids. Like, how the only thing that gets me through the day is that they're my kids and I love them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I love the kids I work with too, but I do want to tell you, like, it's a paycheck.
Right.
I'm getting paid to do this. It's a job. So you sometimes taking the emotionality out of it can help, even if you're at the office, right? Like, it's a
you deal
fucking
with shit
job.
that's annoying.
Yeah, and you're just like, it's a job. Just
Always.
get through it. Put your head down. And I'm sure even when your kids are asleep and you're dealing with stuff that you've got to do, you're like, oh my God, this is so annoying. But you just like do it.
Yeah, I'm so excited about what I do. So like, it doesn't even seem, bad.
Like hard,
That's
yeah.
why, right. That's what I think keeps me going, because I mean, if I wasn't super like passionate and just loved, like, cause everybody's like, how do you put your kids to sleep and not fall asleep, number one,
Yes.
and then like go up into your office, for another 5 hours.
Right.
Wow, that's a lot of hours, but that's like a full
How
day's
do-
work
but-
after that. So wait, real fast, let's back up quickly. So you went from being a marketing executive to a mom to what happened that inspired you to then start a business and tell everyone what you do?
So when my older daughter was like 18 months old, I just, started to get the itch. And, I would throw like random parties for my friends and baby showers, but it wasn't enough. And so,
Although I'm sure when you threw those parties, people were like, oh my God, you're so good at this.
Yeah, I mean, that it was great. And, because I did that before. So,
Right.
because when I was the marketing executive, I was, did all the events for like all these properties. So like I always had that bug in me.
Sure.
So I just started to get the itch, and I'm like, I have to do something. And then I created Bashery and Co., which it started out as just like a styling and decor rental company.
Yeah.
So it was like renting huge teepees and dream catchers and fun decorative items for events, not like your typical like tables and chairs. It was things that, you would either have to like make or buy off Etsy, or, pay a party stylist to do it. So I just kind of wanted to bring like Pinterest worthy parties to people for cheap.
Yeah, like the Pinterest board was
Yeah.
at their like they could
Yeah.
just be like, I want that, and that.
Well,
Which
because
is genius, because it is it's a lot of work to
Yeah.
throw your own party
yeah, it's
and
either
put
like
it all
you have to like
together.
have 50 hours to make all this stuff, and no mom,
Yeah.
or anybody has that time.
And they're like Pinterest fails. Like
yeah.
you're like, I could do that, and then you do it. You're like, oh my god, it's so ugly, I can't put that out, and
Yeah.
then you're fucked.
You're like,
Yeah.
nope, never
Yeah.
happened.
no, and you're just like MFing your,
Yeah.
through the entire party and just like salty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like your Margarita.
Yes.
So okay, so then you decided
So
after
so
this.
she was 18 months. I was pregnant with my second daughter, and I'm like, I have to do something. So thought of that, and then just
As if having a
developed it.
second child wasn't enough,
I
Pamela.
know,
And you're
it's
like,
just not
I
what
have
I
a
do.
child and a second one. I still
Yeah.
have to do something.
It's crazy. I hate myself and love myself
Yes.
like at the same time. And so I just kind of developed it the whole time I was pregnant, and then launched it the week I had Harlow.
Shut
I know.
up.
So dumb.
Like, you did not take
Like,
maternity leave.
total
Instead, you did
psycho.
like the
So
opposite.
dumb.
total psycho.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
obviously that's
I
how
like
you felt.
I say I birthed 2 children in
Of course
1
you
week.
did. You had twins.
Yeah.
And why Bashery and Co? Tell us about the name.
So, Bass just means party.
Mhm.
And then I just kind of wanted like a cool take on it. And then it was like, okay, so you go to a bakery where it's baking, but it's like, and so that's just kind of how, and then
Oh.
Munchery, did you ever
Yes.
use that app?
Uh-huh.
So
yeah.
those are the kind of things that just
Yeah.
took it to that
It
name.
sounds
I-
cute.
I thought it might have been because like bashes can be debauchery.
That's-
So
let's
maybe
add to
it-
that.
I thought
yes.
you were
or
using
maybe I was just at Sundance and that's why I think
Yes,
that.
it's
like-
great.
or like it's almost like a verb. It's like bashing. Like
Yeah.
that would be like you partying hard, like having a bashery.
Yeah,
like yeah.
exactly.
I felt like that's what it probably meant,
Mhm.
but I wanted to obviously hear it from the source. So
And then, then the tagline was where party envy and simplicity meet. So it's like,
Okay.
I want your party to be, the envy of all your guests, but really like behind the scenes, it shouldn't have to cost that much, or so
exactly.
that was like the whole rental.
And so you
idea.
work really, you have like a budget friendly thing too, where you like can kind of help people like allocate like their budget on what they, I mean, it's like a sort of like a full service type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it started, I was like, I just want to, I planned thousands of events my entire life. Like, I didn't think that I wanted to do that anymore. So I'm like, I just want to rent items. Like, I don't have to deal with you. I send it off. That's it. Well, that didn't work because everybody wanted me to do their parties. They're like, well, can't you just come and style it?
Ah.
Why? I don't know how to do this. And I was going to do tutorials. And if you're like, well, just plan it, just style it.
Yeah.
So then it evolved. And then like the next thing I know, I'm working with like big brands, and I'm throwing their influencer events or their launches. And then, then I started to get into like the celebrity circuit, and then I started to build custom backdrops, which
Yes.
was like a big thing.
Mhm.
So it's just, you start at one thing, you have to just have, the balls to start something.
Yeah.
And then it's going to evolve. It's not going to stay the same. And so it's evolved into this. And I mean, I like, where it's gone. And it's still evolving.
Yeah.
I mean, it's changing constantly.
I think that's what you have when you go into something like this with an idea that you're really passionate about. You have to let it start somewhere, and then as you go, discover the other things. Like
Yeah.
our show is different than what it used to be.
Yeah.
1,000,000%.
I always get a little like frustrated with people that are like, well, I'm this thing is in the works, but I haven't like put anything out there yet. And I'm like, well, what's in the works about it? And they're like, well, I have to get this in order and this in order and
You're
this
like,
in order.
just
I'm
do
like,
it.
just do it. Like in 1 year, it will be a whole different thing.
And don't say I don't have time, because Pamelyn had 2 fucking little
Yeah.
young children and did
Well, I think that's what it's a fear base,
Yeah.
right? So like, and we think we have to do all these things. And if you just focus on that, you will never do it. I always say, like, just think of the end result. Don't think of all the steps that it takes to get to there, because you won't do it.
Yeah.
You'll be so fucking scared. You will never do anything. I promise you.
And to be the flip side of the coin here, think about kids, right? Like if you really thought about what it was going to take to have this child, you would never do it.
Yeah.
And now even knowing after you have two, you're like, if I knew the things that I knew, I would maybe really fucking second guess myself. And my old acting teacher taught me more about life than acting. He said, like, you're just, for big things like that in your life, whether it's a new business or getting married or whatever, you're never ready.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean don't do it. That just means don't wait for yourself to be like, I'm totally ready for this. And guess what? If you think you are, you're fucking not.
Right.
Because then you're like, I'm ready to have a baby. And then you have the baby. And then those are the women that go, nobody told me that I was going to have hemorrhoids and that I'm going to be this tired and that the baby's going to cry all night. And it's like, wake up. Yes, of course that. Yeah, wake up because you're not going to be sleeping. Of course that's what happens. But just know that it's like, you're never really ready to do something like that. You got to just like.
Well, what does ready even mean? I mean, I feel like you have to want something.
Yeah.
And have tools probably, like have a computer and a phone. I don't know.
Yeah, right? Like you just did. I mean, you had experience, but what you were doing was totally different. And your lifestyle was totally different.
No, I had no idea how I was going to do it. Everybody was saying to me, how are you going to do this? I have no idea, I would say. I'm like, but all I know is I trust myself. And like, I know I will crush it. Like whatever I say I'm going to do, like if I had ever tell anybody that I'm going to do something, like I'm always going to come through.
Yeah, because once you say it, you mean it. You're like going to go do it.
Right. Like I didn't tell anybody the entire, I don't know, I guess I was like building it like, I don't know, 6 months. I didn't tell one person.
Yeah.
Except my husband.
Yeah, of course.
And he barely told him, you know. He's like, what are you doing up there all the time? Because I just wanted to wait until it was ready. I didn't want people like saying this and, you know, kind of guiding me another
Throwing
way.
In their 2 cents that you didn't ask
like
for.
I don't.
It's like telling somebody
it.
what you're going to name your child. Sometimes you keep it to yourself because you're like, I don't want to hear it.
Right.
When the baby's born and named the name, then sorry, too late. Here's my company. Here's my baby. Love, like it or get the fuck out.
So you now plan all these events, even though you wanted to just do rentals.
Yes.
What is your most favorite event you've ever planned?
Oh my gosh. I did this really cool launch with Mattel for their new. It's called Enchantimals, and it's like new dolls, and they're like half animal, half, and so. We launched the entire thing and we did it at Santa Monica Place and just like working with like such a big like Barbie. I mean, come on. It's like
Mattel.
Yeah.
And so it was just so awesome. And Maria, my 4-year-old, was able to like come there and, with me. It was really cool.
Your girls are really part of your brand and part because I'm sure a lot of the things you do are, parties that are for kids and you do like baby showers and all other things too. But like a lot of your clientele probably sees you and how like this fun, fantastic mom with like a drink in her hand. Yeah. And they're like, oh, well, I want to make my kids' party look like that too. And it's like, that's what makes it fun and like unique in you.
Every day, Maria's like, okay, so, and she talks like a valley girl. I mean, we live at the beach. I don't know where the valley girl, but she's like, so, like, what kind of party are we throwing today? I mean, I literally have to think of, like, just on Sunday, I had, like, 6 girls in a matter of a second from our neighborhood just in my house, and we just had this big craft party. The weekend before was movie popcorn pizza night that I had. I mean, it's
you have
just,
to be the coolest mom ever.
We had the makeup party. Like, I mean,
but this is like
she's 4.
This is for just every day?
This is random.
Sundays.
Like, this is just, like, this off the top, and
like at what point are you like, Mommy doesn't want to make a party today?
No, I have to pull it together.
Oh my God! And are you like full-fledged making parties?
Because I have all this great stuff in my house.
Yeah, so you can. And she knows it's there.
I have a warehouse space, but then I also have a lot of the stuff in my garage.
Oh God!
Like we turned the garage into my workspace.
Nice.
So we can't park cars in there, which my husband isn't thrilled about.
I'm sure.
So we, should all the little girls come over and they see everything and they're like, can we do this? And, I have a gold sewing machine and they're like, can we?
Oh my God. You're like
glamorous.
It's like a toy store in there for everyone.
Yeah.
But you also like pour yourself a drink and do all this stuff.
Yeah. And like
too.
my, the moms of the neighbor, I mean, we just sit there and we drink.
But so do they rely on you for everything? They're like, entertain our kids. You're so good at it.
They're so good. I mean, we definitely rotate.
Yeah.
And Maria's just, starting to come at the age where she is like this. you know, where she's starts. This only has happened in the past like 6 months,
Right.
But there's been a lot. And then her 4th birthday was in November, which was insane.
And what was the theme of that again?
So
I think
she
I saw it
wanted
on
to
you.
have
Oh.
shimmer and shine, but I have a rule that like I don't do, like I can't do like a character like
Okay.
party. Like I
Right.
just can't do that.
Yeah, you're not going to do like a Frozen party.
No.
Yeah.
How come?
No. I just, because I can just be way more creative.
I understand. You don't want to be pigeonholed with someone
Yeah.
else's artistic
Yeah, that's all.
vision.
Yeah, I can just like, so she's like, oh, you know, shimmer and shine. So
Wait, she came up with shimmer and shine?
it's this cartoon of these genies.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay. I know. Right.
I
I'm
mean,
like,
they are adorable, and I
thought
do
she
love
just liked
them.
glitter, and I
Well,
thought your
that
rule was going to be
too,
like,
I
I
no,
was
we
like,
don't
that's
do
where
glitter.
shimmer and shine's
Yeah.
really cute.
Yeah, like diamonds and glitter. Who
Yeah,
doesn't want that?
well, right. And so we turned it into a Moroccan genie party.
Perfect.
So it was like, you know, the floor
Oh,
poofs,
that's
and it
cool.
was, yeah.
And then see, you put your own little spin on it. And guess what? Like when people come to you with like, I don't know what I'm doing. My daughter really likes Frozen. You're like, all right, we're gonna make an enchanted ice
Exactly.
princess
I've
party
done it
or
so many
whatever.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I have it
Yeah.
for rent. Call me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do. And they're always like, you know, we want pink. And like the mom's like, oh my gosh, like I can't just do all. So then we always get creative.
Yeah, and the little girls or boys or whoever it's for always love it, obviously,
Yeah.
because you make it so beautiful, and it's like this vision comes to life, and that must be the moment for you, right? So you get to this point, you plan this party, and then like there's like the reveal of when everyone sees it,
Yeah.
and that's probably like,
Yeah.
because you have the moment where you see it all come together too,
For
so
sure.
you know
No,
they're
it's
gonna love
awesome.
it.
No, we
Too
love
bad
it.
you didn't start this when it, like my Super Sweet 16 was happening and that
gosh,
show.
no.
But like,
Imagine.
are you gonna plan like? Are you gonna be on the like committee for doing like the prom for your daughters and like
Oh my God.
get really involved?
Guys, I am just like, I am getting so spent with the events though, because I mean, you know, I'm going to be 40 this year. And
Fun. Oh my God, what about that
oh
Yeah.
my
party?
Are you throwing
God,
your
I
own
know.
party?
On. Your husband is screwed.
Oh my God.
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna leave like a detailed outline about what to do?
I just don't even know yet, because when you know, like when you do something for a living and then it's like to do it for
I
yourself, you're
know.
like, oh my gosh.
But you can't not have a party though.
I know. Or what about a trip? Like a
Yeah.
really awesome trip.
I know. I
But
gotta
then there
think
has
about
to
it.
be a party element there. You cannot turn 40 without having a thing.
I know. I got to think about it.
Well,
I think we
geez.
might rent a beach house for like that week because it's in the summer,
That's
and then maybe
fine.
like have you
Yeah.
know.
I wish my birthday was
kind
in the summer because
yeah.
of that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That one.
It's
So
a
I
good
think that might
yeah.
be. But back to me being 40, you know, events are manual labor. I mean, they're no joke.
Yeah.
And like especially like these events for brands and celebrities. I mean, they're like major productions. Like we have walls, we have, you know, we're building back. I
Lighting.
mean, it's
Yeah.
crazy, and I'm right in there, you know, moving things and so.
How do you feel like that's going to change though? Like
So what's starting to change, and this is I'm like really excited about this, is that I am being asked to do a lot of content creation for brands. So like fun, you know, maybe just like party setups, but then I'll do like really
How-tos.
cool how-tos. And so that's been something that has like started over like I don't know the past 6 months, and I really love that.
and that's like taking place of you being at the events and actually building because you're
It's a
showing
little bit
people
more
how to do it.
glamorous too, because you're not physically doing the thing. You're like, this is how
Yeah.
you would do the thing.
Right.
And, you know, it is hard, like with the kids to, you know, like be at all these events and, but again, it's like I did that for 2 years. I did every event I could possibly do, and it, you know, gained me all this exposure because of all these, you know, good brands that I work with. And so again, it's just like evolving.
Yeah. You're
Well-
you're making it work for
Yeah.
you, which is
Yeah.
like basically what we're talking about here. It's like finding your power for you
Yeah.
and like specifically for women, like no matter what that is, that you make it work for you. You find your
And don't be scared to change it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's like another thing that people are scared, like, oh, well, I said I was going to do this, and like, will people think I'm a failure or whatever? No, like,
Yeah.
change it up.
Yeah,
don't
especially
At
if
be
least
it's
try
scared.
something and
Yeah.
then adjust, just like life.
Yeah, and most of the time it's going to organically move into something else anyway. So it's not like all of a sudden now you're like, I'm a porn star.
Right,
Like
right.
this is sort of what you're
That
doing.
would be something.
I
Oh my
mean,
God.
listen,
That would
if
be
you
an
did,
interesting mom job.
if you did, I would be like,
Sure,
listen,
hey,
embrace
whatever
your
you wanna do.
womanhood
Yeah.
and like be a porn star.
Hey.
And speaking of sex, we talk about dating and relationships on the show. That's like our basis here. And we want, you know, because a big part of your life is your relationship. You had like a pretty cool courtship that happened pretty fast, and we
Very
sort of want
fast.
your advice on
Yeah.
that. But we always ask this to our guests. If you took a shot for every bad decision you have ever made in your life, like an alcohol shot,
Okay.
would you be sober, buzzed, or drunk? Like a bad
decision
like
can be anything
detriment-
you judge it
right.
as bad.
I'd be
Yeah.
sober. I'm just like, I have always just been, I don't know, like, I don't know if I was like scared of my mom or what, I just like never made too bad of a decision.
I'm sort of like that too, I think.
Like I wasn't like a goody goody. I mean, I was definitely like, drinking in high school and being crazy and doing all these like fun things, but I never like took it too far, I think.
Like never got in like real trouble.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I
Or
never
like
did.
impacted your life in a way where it was like a DUI or like
Yeah,
Right,
no,
right.
I never did.
Which is great. And even
Yeah.
if you did, you bounce back from that shit
Yeah.
sometimes too.
you
but
do, but
yeah.
we still like to know.
Yeah.
So you are married, like
Yes.
we said. Tell us how you guys met and what was so cool about this courtship.
Yeah.
So we met sitting across from each other at this huge table at Mastro's. And the way that we both got to the same table was my friend was visiting from Pittsburgh with her husband, and her husband was good friends with my husband's friend. So Andy and Amy said, we're meeting a big group of people at Mastro's. They said, we can invite you. Do you want to go? I said, sure. So we get there, and there's like 12 people. So there's like this big round table, and I was seated across from him, and there was these two other guys on each side of me, like hardcore pressing. I mean, both of them, like, I mean, trying to feed me all this stuff, and I'm just like, guys, just, So I'm looking at him because he was like totally my style. So shaved head, which is I always liked that my whole life. It's like so weird. I have no idea why. Shaved head, like he had just come from work, so he was like, cufflinks, just like looking really nice. And it's so funny because I come from this blue-collared family, okay? And so in Pittsburgh, it's steel town, blue-collared. And ever since I was a little girl, my mom always said that, she said, you would be like, I want to marry a guy in one of those suits that works in like a big building, So
Aw.
anyway, so he's there. So we barely even talk that
But you were
night.
like kind of looking at him.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And so I said to my friend Amy, like the next day, I'm like, how old do you think he is? Because I knew he was like a little bit older. She's like, I don't know, like 40. And I was 33 at the time. And I'm like, okay, like I never went 7 years older, but whatever. I'm fine with that. So I came home to my roommate and I said, Amber, I just need to say something. I need to make note of the man that I met tonight. I'm just saying it, I just need like to say it aloud so I don't come back, 5 years later and there's no proof.
Yeah, like you wanted to make a mental note of it because you were
Yeah.
feeling something.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's fun to go back and be like, I knew it.
Yeah.
But what happened
that
that
was
night at
June.
Mastro's?
Yeah,
though? Like,
that
nothing.
was June, so nothing. That was in June. So fast forward August, I had moved from West Hollywood to Marina Del Rey, and we were having a housewarming party, and I was still friendly with the one friend that was at the dinner of my friend's friend. So I invited him kind of in the back of my mind. Oh, because I had just gotten back I went to Iceland for work. So the
Oh.
whole time I'm in Iceland, I'm thinking about Rocco,
Yeah.
thinking about him. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is crazy. How am I ever going to see this guy again? So we get back, we have this party, and the shoe, it's this guy's nickname. He invited Rocco.
Oh, and
Yeah.
were you like, yes?
So Rocco was on a plane coming from Chicago, and he landed and came like right over, and like his side of the story is like, he was like, oh my God, I have to go and see her because he was thinking about me from the 2 months prior.
Cute.
love
But it's
it.
interesting that neither of you said anything to
Yeah.
each other in the moment. It's almost like you had to let it marinate.
Yeah, that's
and
how
you had-
he is. He
yeah.
has like this subtle confidence. He's like
He
not
totally
gonna, like,
does, yeah.
he's not gonna push, or like
Yes.
be like that. So yeah, he walked in the door. I'm a big shoe girl, like on guys. So he had on like these blue Adidas that were just like awesome. And so I remember giving him like a tour of the apartment, and my heart was like beating, and I just knew. I just freaking knew.
Oh.
Well, and then what happened?
And then it was Labor Day. We all met at Mercedes in Marina Del Rey. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like a super fun place. And there was like 10 of us. The only seat that was open at the table was next to him when I walked in. So I sat there. And then we were like inseparable ever since. So that was September. We got engaged well, we said we were getting married in January.
Yeah.
Like over Christmas, New Year's, we said we were getting married. And then I officially got the ring in March, and then we got married in August.
Wow.
So
Wait, how did you whip up a wedding so quickly?
I whipped up 3 weddings, my friend.
Wait,
What?
because you
3
got married
weddings.
away. You were
So in 3 weeks, I had 3 weddings. The first one was in August 18th, was in Bora Bora, just the 2 of us, which was our official wedding.
Ugh,
We had
that
3
sounds
weddings there because we got married on the beach. We got married legally at the town, hall, and then we got married in the Catholic Church of Bora Bora on the island.
Ugh, all by yourself.
Yeah.
There. Okay.
Yeah.
Was he like, great, the more weddings, the better? Like, because guys aren't
He
usually
was
that into
so
this.
down. I mean, he didn't do anything,
And also, those were like little
Fun.
things.
Yeah.
They were just you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then the next Saturday we came back. We had an LA wedding. Like it wasn't like a ceremony, but we had a big party, And then the next Saturday was our like formal party in Pittsburgh. That's where I'm from. And
Yes.
he's also from Pennsylvania,
Right.
which is another crazy part
Yeah,
of
what are
like
the
why
chances
it
of
was
that?
such a quick connection. Like we went home with each other for Christmas and we like walked into each other's families' homes and it was like the same home with like the same people.
Yeah.
And we were like, this is like so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same people.
I mean, you were cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
And something like that can accelerate the comfortability of a relationship because it's less to feel like you have to guess or discover when you already feel like you can relate on those levels. And sometimes relationships that happen fast don't work out and sometimes they do, but something like that is helpful, I think.
Oh my
Do you
gosh.
think that it happened quickly because you were 33? I too am 33, so it gives me hope that like I can find this story.
Yes.
But do you think age for you had something to do
Yeah,
with it?
for sure. I mean, I had serious relationships. And I think you just like know. And it was funny. It was like, and every guy would kind of like I dated leading up to Rocco, it like kept getting closer and closer to what I wanted.
Mhm.
It wasn't quite there. And I think it's just like knowing exactly what you want and not being scared to say it. Like, so I was raised, like I said, in Pittsburgh, this like tough town. It was kind of like, you have to be kind of like, my mom was a single mom. So it was like, I have to like I am like woman, hear me roar. And, and I had to be in control of everything and this whole deal. And, but I wanted to find somebody that like I didn't have to like be in control like that sometimes. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Totally.
And so I moved to California and I just started to like think differently and I started to say things differently than I was saying. It's like what you say is so important.
I agree.
Because the universe it comes with the universe is listening.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just, single in LA, like kind of dating. I wasn't a big dater. And I was never so clear in my life on what I wanted. I would like wake up every morning. I would do these affirmations. I'm probably getting a little bit too
No, this is
personal,
great.
but like it's cool. Whatever, I'll say it. And because I read all these books, right? Like I moved to LA. I just kind of did like some work on myself, and I would wake up every morning and I would do these affirmations as if it had already happened to me. Like I'd be like, thank you so much for like the most amazing man, blah, blah, blah. And I would like, list like what he was, like what I wanted. And I would like, try to feel it like you really believe it. And, I mean, that was like a year-long thing. I mean, I did that. And then like everything kind of came true.
Yeah, I think visualizing or verbalizing something. I'm a visualizer. I always have been as a kid, like big daydreamer.
Yeah.
Like I picture things and have
Totally.
pictured things and like I'm then shocked that I'm like, oh yeah, that.
And the great thing is like you should totally, I mean, I write down, like I try to do it every 6 months, and I write down like I will or I want to. And it's so amazing. like how much that can come true.
Yeah, and you've seen it. The proof is in the pudding because you've done so many amazing things, including your career and your family life and your kids and all that, and it's all come true. So it's like, you're capable of, when you talked about before, control, like I am woman, hear me roar, and then I wanted to be in a place where I didn't have to do that. But also, again, and talking about our episode like topic, being the girl who was like, I'm going to be vulnerable and I'm going to like say how I'm feeling in the moment. I'm not going to be scared is powerful.
Right.
Like
I
that
know, I was never that way ever,
but
you know,
then you
and then it was
embraced it.
amazing. Right.
And it worked for you.
It worked.
It is scary in
Right.
the dating world to jump without a net. I've been there. But if you believe that in the way you feel, then you, or in the career you're picking or whatever.
It's like, okay, so if you're dating for a while and you know that you're down with the guy, right?
Yeah.
And you still don't know what he's feeling, and you say something and then it's not reciprocated, you don't want to be fucking dating him anyway.
Right.
Like, this is what kills me about people.
Yeah.
Like, I still have so many single friends, and it's like, I don't want to say, well, I'm scared. Like, fuck him. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody does not want to be with you,
You need to know.
why
Don't
do
waste
you
any more
eat?
time.
No.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. There's not a match every single time. It's nothing about you. You didn't do anything wrong. Like, it's, remove your ego from it. And like, let's just be grateful that you figured it out and that you still, that's why I always tell my friends whenever they break up with somebody, this is so exciting because you still get to meet your husband. Like, you have not met your husband yet.
That's a good way to look at
You
it.
It's
still
a
get
great
to
way.
meet him.
And then you don't waste
know?
time on this other person, and then like
That's a really good way to bounce
It's
back
the
from
most
something.
exciting thing you'll ever have in your life. It's, you know.
I think the fear though on the flip side is like, will I ever? And like
Sure. Oh, I know.
or like, what's wrong with me that I keep picking these guys? And
Or I thought that was it.
Right.
I'm so wrong now. How am I ever going
most
to know?
you really think
no,
it was?
most people
That's
know.
my
And if
thing.
you like I have friends that have said things to me out loud. I'm like, but you're telling me these things bother you about this
Listen.
person. Like,
Yeah.
you're putting it in writing on
Let
text.
me tell you what, if it bothers you now, try having 2 kids with somebody and, running a company. I mean, it's really going to bother you.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love my boyfriend,
Yeah.
but he sometimes
Yeah.
really annoys me.
Oh my God, be gone.
Well, because
I'm
it's
like-
another human. No one's perfect, and they're never going to
Yeah,
be.
never going to be.
I do think
you know?
like if we could maybe take one positive thing from dating apps is to be empowered because you're not stuck. There's always going to be more people. So like if you do say how you feel about someone and that person is like not into it, guess what? Maybe the next guy will be like, wow, I'm so happy this person feels this way about me.
Right.
Like they might appreciate it.
Right.
Totally, and it gets you closer, like you said, to what you want.
Yeah.
You were affirming
And
it.
when
It
you're
happened.
younger and you just want to date and you're not worried, I mean, it's fine. You
Yeah.
don't have to be like that. But yeah, when you're
Eventually,
starting to be, at
yeah.
the time where you want all that, it's scary for sure. But I think what we do too is I call them ITMs in the meantimes. Like
Oh.
these girls, like, I'll keep them around, in the meantime. I'm looking for Mr. Right, but in the meantime, I'm going to keep this guy
You're
around.
giving energy to the
because,
wrong
oh
guy.
my God, like now they're static in your, in your energy field
Yeah.
of like, it's sending out the wrong thing.
Totally.
What were some of the books you read when you said you were like reading all these books?
So I read some like deep things, but like A New Earth. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody but that's a deep book. I mean,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
taking notes. I mean, I had to read it like 5 times and like it's full of notes.
Yeah.
But an easy read that I really love was The Power of the Subconscious Mind.
Oh.
And again, it's just all about your thoughts. I mean, it's not like,
And people
rocket
tell
science,
themselves
but-
awful things.
Yeah. Oh my
And
God.
Like, I
You
don't,
don't
look
even-
good. I'm
you
too fat.
don't-
She's skinnier than
Yep.
me. She's prettier
Yeah.
than me. Why would
Yeah.
you like me?
And you're sending, or you're like judging people and like, it's all so hard to, and especially if like you're kind of, it's hard right after 30 years or whatever to change how you have thought.
Yeah.
But we weren't born thinking like that,
No. Yeah. And it's sort of like what you said in the beginning, like you felt really supported in your endeavors and being around mostly women, and that you felt like around men you weren't supported. And there's a reason why it takes a village is a real thing.
For sure.
So embrace your womanhood, embrace whatever you feel good about or whatever decisions you're making, or you being vulnerable or whatever it means to you, and like find the power in that and then support each other with
Yes.
it. That's I think what's happening
Yes.
right now.
Yes, and
It for sure is.
we've been covering a lot of like the Time's Up and the Me Too movement, and we love the women banding together. It's like so our jam. And so we're going to play a game.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about some celebs that are just like us too. Or they're not like us at all and they're really just like Pamelyn.
Oh my God.
So we have a list of inspiring women who are moms as well as business owners and entrepreneurs. And we're going to give you hints and you're going to have to guess which badass celebrity mom / CEO we are referring to in our game called MOM-trepreneur.
Entrepreneur.
Oh
We
my
could say it now.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to give you some
Okay.
hints Okay, so in 2011, she started her Pure line of baby products.
Jessica Alba.
Yeah, I knew you were going to get that right away.
That's like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this singer used her name to market fragrances that became wildly popular and contributed to her empire. And her heart will go on.
Oh, jeez. Who sings that? Yes. Who sings that? I can't think right
Celine
now.
Dion.
Oh my God, I was just gonna say that, but I don't remember.
because I felt like
Yeah,
I
it would
didn't
help.
remember that she had fragrances.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she
Oh my
does.
God,
She
I'm
did
the
before
worst.
Mariah
I'm
Carey
the
did,
worst.
before Jessica
Before
Simpson.
Yeah, she
J-Lo.
was like the first one,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, so she is the ultimate curator. This Oscar award-winning actress founded her lifestyle website in 2008.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, from a single mom who was on a social assistance program to becoming one of the world's most famous authors, like ever, whose books have all landed major motion picture status, theme parks,
Theme
and
parks.
any
Yes.
other product
What
you can
is that?
freaking imagine.
I mean, you can say
Her
the books
name-
too
yeah,
if you want.
Harry Potter.
Yes,
Yeah.
J.K.
J.K.
Rowling.
Rowling,
Yeah. Okay. I actually didn't know that. Well, I forgot about this, I think, but this singer and her daughter Lola did a little family bonding when they launched their clothing company, Material Girl.
Madonna.
And I
remember
forgot
that.
she did that. Yeah.
I didn't even know.
It was
I don't
in
think.
Macy's.
Yeah. It was in Macy's.
There
You're
we
right.
go. Is it still around?
No.
I don't think it
I
is.
don't think so.
And does she need a side business?
But then she started writing children's books, and then she's
What?
got a fake British accent. It's very hard to keep track.
I don't want to read a children's book by her.
Well-
she wore pointy bras like in public.
I mean, listen,
People
she-
can change. All right. So, whatever. This person went from operating her own catering company out of her home to publishing a bunch of top selling cookbooks and is a Food Network star and runs 2 swanky restaurants, oozing the Southern hospitality and charm that
And
she
she-
has.
and
And she did this with her 2 sons.
and she loves
Yeah,
butter.
Paula Deen.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Last, not only is she is a mom of 2, but she kind of favors plus size women or any shape that your clothing might want, like the way you might want it to fit you. And she launched her clothing line in 2015, 7'7", and it's for all sizes. It's not just like bigger or smaller. It's for all sizes. Maybe even her famous cousin Jenny might wear these clothes.
I don't know.
Melissa McCarthy.
Oh my God.
That's okay, but now you have to
Got
drink
it.
your drink because you
Okay.
didn't get
Yeah,
it right.
Okay, I will be happy
yes.
to drink.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks for playing. And you were on it with some of those.
Not
Those
Yeah,
too
are pretty
bad.
good.
Yeah.
So tell everyone where they can find you, hire you, see your videos, all of the stuff.
www.basheryandco.com. Instagram is though my jam. It's like where I think most of my business comes from. So it's Bashery and Co.
Yeah, great.
Awesome.
All right. And you guys don't forget to tune in next week for our guest, Bachelor Nation, Jared Hybon. And he was on The Bachelor in Paradise and all of the things. And don't forget to follow us on all the socials at Complicated Show. Jen, where can everyone find and follow you?
You guys can all find and follow me at Jennifer Golden on all of the social media platforms.
And you can find me at Lauren Leonelli on all the social medias as well. All right. Thank you so much, Pamelyn.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
coming
So
in.
fun.
Can't wait to
So
see what you do
fun.
for your 40th birthday.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I hope we get to go. Yeah. Ah! All right. We will see you guys next week. Love you long time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.